Good afternoon. I am E.J. Kuiper, President and CEO of the HSHS Central Illinois Division. I want to thank you all for joining us today as we break ground on a new outpatient center for women and children at HSHS St. John's Hospital. It is truly an exciting day. To begin our ceremony, I would like to introduce Father Charlie Hart, the Director of Clinical Pastoral Education at HSHS St. John's Hospital, to offer our opening prayer. Father.
Thank you. Sister Maureen, in honor of the hospital sisters, will be joining me in this blessing this morning. From Psalm 127, unless the Lord builds a house, the builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. As persons of faith and service to God, we call upon the Lord of all creation, the great architect of the universe, source of all compassion, mercy, and authority, wellspring of inspiration and wisdom. And with all humility and reverence, we kindly ask the guidance of God's Holy Spirit throughout all the stages of this project, from the breaking of the ground to the welcoming of those who will be served and who will serve in this building and structure. We ask the abiding presence and protection of God's saints and angels. And so, Lord, we ask your saints to watch over those who labor here, especially the intercession of St. John the Evangelist, patron of our hospital, St. Francis and St. Clare, whose visionary lives helped to guide the hospital sisters to this place, and Saints Joseph, Thomas, and Vincent Farrar, who are patron saints for workers. Also, let us be reverently mindful of those persons who may have lived on this land and the joys and sorrows that they may have experienced for lives begun and ended in this area. And may we and this building be of good stature and service throughout this time of construction. For hard hats and loving hearts, let the assembly say, Amen. And Sister Maureen now will be joining me with a blessing of the relic of St. John and holy water. See if we grab that.
There are so many individuals who have helped us get to this groundbreaking moment today. I know I won't be able to individually recognize everyone, but there are some important groups that I'd like to take a moment to recognize. First, I would like to give a special thank you to a large group of people who cannot be here today, but will be integral in the success of this new outpatient center for women and children. That group is the caregivers, colleagues, physician partners, and volunteers who are currently caring for our patients and our families. Let's give them a round of applause. Secondly, I would like to give a special welcome to the Hospital Sisters of St. Francis and thank the sisters for their ongoing support of all we do at St. John's and the other hospitals within the Central Illinois Division. Their presence here as we embark on this next chapter in the hospital's history is very meaningful and much appreciated. I would ask the Hospital Sisters of St. Francis who are here today to please stand so we can express our gratitude. Next, I would like to thank the group of individuals who have helped us make this outpatient center for women and children become a reality. Many hours have been spent planning how this new facility would best provide comprehensive services for women and children that will improve care coordination by providing numerous services under one roof. If you were a member of that steering committee, please stand so you can be recognized. Additionally, I would like to thank our board members and community leaders, including Aldermans Proctor and Senor and Mayor Langfelder. Thank you for your support. I would also like to recognize the several community stakeholders who had an interest in making sure this site pays respect to the 1908 Springfield race riots. We will continue to work together on this initiative as we design a quiet healing garden that will incorporate elements to memorialize the race riots, as well as plan a formal remembrance inside the building to highlight the importance of this very site to the south of the building and the HSHS Sisters' role in the healing process for the victims and the community. If you are part of these efforts, please stand so we can say thank you. Last, but definitely not least, I would like to thank our partners at SIU Medicine and HSHS Medical Group. We would not be able to provide the high-quality care that we provide to Central Illinois families without you. We look forward to continuing to work together. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Dr. Chuck LaCour, President and CEO of HSHS St. John's Hospital, to say a few words. Chuck?
Thank you, EJ. What a great day for HSHS St. John's as we all come together today to break ground for our new outpatient center for women and children's services. This outpatient center will provide more access, convenience, and expands our services at a time when we've seen significant growth over the last 20 years in partnership with SIU. We really want to provide an optimal patient environment for women and children to receive the care and the physician practice that will carry on the mission of the Hospital Sisters of St. Francis. This is a $48.4 million project, including a 4-story medical office facility, parking garage, and sky bridge across 9th Street that will connect the medical office building to the Women and Children's Center. Patients and their families coming to the new outpatient center will have access to specialty care that includes maternal fetal medicine, pediatric specialties including pediatric orthopedics, pediatric cardiology, and obstetrics and gynecology. It's going to be a great example of care coordination between hospital services and physician services so that patients and their families will be able to access rehab imaging at the place where they're seeing their doctors. A cafe and a healing garden will also be part of the new facility. The building will be a home to SIU Medicine providers and staff, as well as HSHS Medical Group providers and staff, and St. John's colleagues who support outpatient departments. I know I speak for all of HSHS St. John's Hospital when I say we are excited for this new project, which is expected to be completed in August of 2018. We look forward to continuing to grow our care partnerships and to live out our mission to reveal and embody Christ's healing love for all people through a high-quality Franciscan healthcare ministry. Before you leave today, please take some time to look at the renderings of the new office building as well as the 4 floor plans that we have on display. Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Jerry Cruz from SIU Medicine and the SIU School of Medicine.
Thanks so much, Chuck. It is great to be here today, and it's been great to work with Mary Starman Harrison and E.J. Kuiper, Chris Campbell, and Dr. LaCour as we've done this project. This facility and this groundbreaking is part of a greater collaboration between the SIU School of Medicine and HSHS St. John's. It's a collaboration that unites the clinical and academic components of the care for women and children in our region. And the collaboration through this facility and other facilities and other programs that we develop will do a lot of things. There's no doubt, as Dr. LaCour said, that it will improve the delivery of health care for women and children and broaden our outreach to a greater region. It certainly will improve access across that region and provide better care coordination. And also, it'll be a facility that will help us develop a better healthcare and physician workforce and actually prepare our organizations for the opportunities that lie ahead with all of healthcare reform and all that may or may not bring. We just don't know today, I don't think, as a matter of fact. Anyway, a word about history. SIU School of Medicine is one of 40 community-based medical schools. That means that we don't own a hospital or a health system, and over the years then we've had to develop strong affiliation agreements with hospitals and health systems in order for us to have our educational and our clinical programs. Since the very beginning of SIU School of Medicine in 1970, we've had such a strong affiliation with HSHS St. John's. So for decades, SIU and St. John's have worked together and been partners for training of physicians and for delivering health care to the community. This relationship has responded to a variety of needs over the years. For example, 12 years ago, SIU and St. John's responded to a real community need and created this hospital, HSHS St. John's Children's Hospital. Now today, we know that there are many needs as well. I think, it's not, I don't know if it's well known or not, but when you take a look at care across the world, in the United States, the need for better care for women of childbearing age and children is acute. And we know that that's very important for our region here too, in Sangamon County and the whole area that we serve. We really focus on low birth weight infants, early access to prenatal care, health promotion, and mental health care needs for women and children. And with this facility and this collaboration, we'll be able to do that, and we'll do it through the things that Dr. LaCour has also mentioned. Comprehensive primary care and specialty services for children in pediatrics, general obstetrics and gynecology, and OBGYN specialties. Also, I'll also mention that this building will house the South Central Illinois Perinatal Center. That's a collaborative between the Illinois Department of Public Health, HSHS St. John's, and the SIU School of Medicine that serves 30 hospitals and 37 counties from the westernmost part of the state across the central part and down on to the southeast. It links the care of high-risk pregnancies with the care of vulnerable infants in the neonatal intensive care unit. It's a service that actually is really an astounding one. Now, I'll also reiterate that this collaborative will assure a better coordination of care, not only on the local level with the services we have here, but throughout this region as well. We are going to dedicate ourselves to provide services for those who most need care, the highest risk and the most vulnerable, and we're going to find them. And we're going to provide for them smooth transitions of care between the hospital, outpatient care, their home, and other facilities. And we know that we'll need registries and big data sets so that we can do the continuous quality improvement and the outreach that we need. We also know that in this building there's going to be collaborative workspace that makes for better care but also makes a better learning environment for our students and our residents and our fellows. There's no doubt that this building and what it brings will improve referral networks and link patients and providers. Now, I'll just digress for a minute. For 30 years, I was a family physician and practiced family medicine in Quincy. I took care of a lot of women and children. I delivered 1,900 babies. And I always wanted for my patients the best care, and we needed in the region comprehensive care for children. I would be up with women with high-risk pregnancies, and I would long to get them referred to the right providers and for the sick infants to have a place to go. It was tough sometimes. Over the last few years, we've developed all of those comprehensive services that I just mentioned. And so I think that the providers can rest a little bit easier now and breathe a sigh of relief. Actually, the ones who I think will breathe a sigh of relief mostly are the patients, the children and the women and the families who are affected by this, as a matter of fact. Now, just very quickly, none of this would have happened without the great leadership at the SIU School of Medicine to make sure that it's done. So I would like to recognize in pediatrics our chair of the Department of Pediatrics, Dr. Doug Carlson, who is also the medical director of HSHS St. John's Children's Hospital. Also in pediatrics, Dr. Ramsey Nicholas, who is the associate chair for specialty services. In OBGYN, Dr. Ricardo DeMola, the chair of OBGYN, and the co-directors of the South Central Illinois Perinatal Center, Dr. Rob Abrams and Dr. Bo Batten. Dr. Abrams is the executive director of SIU Maternal and Fetal Medicine. Dr. Batten is the chief of neonatology in the hospital. So in closing, I just say that our organizations, our two organizations, are dedicated to what at SIU we call the 4 E's of the triple aim plus one. So the first of those E's is effectiveness. The highest quality healthcare outcomes for the population. The second one, efficiency. Systems that make care more affordable for everyone. 3, equity. Systems that assure access to care for all. And number 4, enjoyability. Systems that provide the best experience for medical care and health services as we educate our next generation of physicians and healthcare providers in Central and Southern Illinois. That is my pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dr. Cruz. Thank you, Chuck, and thank you, Mary, that you see this project come to fruition. I would now like to introduce the lady that single-handedly delayed this ceremony by about 5 minutes. My good friend, the CEO of HSHS Medical Group, Ms. Melinda Clark. Melinda?
EJ really loves me best. He just likes to pick on me all the time. So first of all, thank you so much for having us join you today. The medical group has been growing over the last 3 years and have brought over 100 physicians and other providers into the Central Illinois market. So as we approach our numbers hitting at 450 providers in Central and Southern Illinois, we're very proud of our growth. With this project, it's very important to us because we have the opportunity to bring our children's surgical services with HSHS Medical Group into this project. So our pediatric orthopedic surgeons and also our pediatric general surgeons will be joining SIU and St. John's in this project to provide great care and for the women and children in the community. So thank you very much for letting us join you, and I look forward to our future together.
Thank you, Melinda. I appreciate your great leadership. In addition to strong physician partners, as I mentioned earlier, we've had strong partners in advancing the project's development and design over the last few years. One of those groups is Landmark, who's the developer of the outpatient center. I would like to introduce Stuart Armstrong, President of Landmark Healthcare Facilities. Stuart?
Thank you. The medical office building we are placing under construction today is a direct result of effective collaboration between the developer, the healthcare provider, the architect, the contractor, and the lender. All the members that were part of the development team should be proud of all the work they've accomplished to take this medical office building from concept to reality. This is also an important moment for Landmark Healthcare Facilities. This project represents a significant challenge to us as developers and owners of outpatient buildings. This project helped us demonstrate some of the skills we feel make us unique as a full-service developer of outpatient buildings. This project gave us a chance to renew our relationship with Hospital Sisters Health System and it has allowed us to build a strong partnership with St. John's Hospital School of Medicine. This new medical office building will include a mix of state-of-the-art hospital services, physician office space. Southern Illinois University School of Medicine will have approximately 49,000 square feet of space within the building, consisting of pediatrics, obstetrics, maternal fetal medicine. The St. John's Hospital program will include approximately 28,000 square feet of pharmacy, women's imaging, pediatric rehabilitation, and Hospital Sisters Health System Medical Group will have approximately 9,000 square feet of presence with a pediatric orthopedic program. Landmark is truly thankful to be a developer, owner, and manager of such a great, remarkable building. I'd like to thank the leadership of the Hospital Sisters Health System, Mary Sternman Harrison, President and Chief Executive Officer, Mike Cottrell, Chief Financial Officer, Amy Bulpit, Vice President and General Counsel, and E.J. Croupier, Chief Executive Officer and President of the Southern Illinois Region. I'd like to also thank Melinda Clark, Chief Executive Officer of Hospital Sisters Health System Medical Group. Without their vision and drive, we would not have been successful in our development efforts. Thank you. I would like to sorry about that. I would like to thank Dr. Charles Lucor, President and Chief Executive Officer, and Steve Ullman, Division Chief Financial Officer at St. John's Hospital, for their help in guiding the development efforts over the last several months. Landmark is also thankful for the leadership at Southern Illinois University School of Medicine, Dr. Jerry Cruz, Chief Executive Officer, Dean and Provost, Nelson Weichhold, Chief Operating and Financial Officer, Dr. Douglas Carlson, Chairman of Department of Pediatrics, Dr. Ricardo Lorette DeMola, Chairman of the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and Dr. Robert Abrams, Executive Director of Maternal Fetal Medicine. Without their commitment and determination, we would not be standing here today. As we are about to break ground on this project, I have to give recognition to the support that Landmark has received from the City of Springfield and Kaylor Slater. They truly have been outstanding partners in the development process, and we look forward to continuing those partnerships throughout construction. I also want to recognize Teachers Insurance and Annuity Association, the financial partner of Landmark in the development of this medical office building. I also need to acknowledge the hard and tireless work of the Landmark team led by Michael Cleary. Michael worked continually through the development process with representatives of the Hospital Sisters Health System, St. John's Hospital, Southern Illinois University School of Medicine, the architect, the contractor, the lender, and the list goes on and on to move this project forward. This project is a case in point that when people of goodwill and common purpose come together, anything is possible. The groundbreaking today is ample proof of that. I want to thank everyone who worked at the forefront and behind the scenes to make this project happen. Thank you again for permitting Landmark to be a part of this process. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. There was a lot of heavy name lifting there. Good job. At this point, it's time to officially break ground on this much anticipated project. If those of you with hard hats could please join me over at the site, we will break ground and then celebrate with hors d'oeuvres and refreshments.